Hello everyone, this is Dane. So I want to do something completely different than anything I've done before. I know it's been a while, but I'm interested in talking about the WWE. Now, over the past year, I've become a huge fan, and I mean huge. I mean obsession. Like, this has taken over my life, and I don't have that many people to talk about it with because there's like a few people here and there, but I really want to talk about this in front of a camera, in front of you guys, and it's just something that I've really wanted to do. I've been thinking about this for quite a few weeks, and I was like, you know what? Let's go for it. Let's talk about the WWE. So I want to give you a little bit of history first. When I was watching wrestling, the last time I actually watched it, get ready for this, 25-ish years ago. I don't know. I'm sure I'm wrong on that, but it was like the WCW days, like around the WCW. And then when they merged with the WWF and then all the wrestlers went over there, that was when I was watching. That was like the only time I really watched. And then I used to rent VHSs with my dad, and we would just go back and watch old WrestleManias, and that was just so cool to me. So I've probably seen a lot of old WrestleManias that I don't. It's 25 years, so obviously I'm not gonna remember any of it. But like obviously my favorite wrestlers back then were like Goldberg, Sting, Undertaker, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Kevin Nash, the NWO. We got there's just so many. Like my dad loved Ric Flair. I wasn't really a big fan of him myself, but like all those wrestlers around that time, Rob Van Dam. I can go on and on and on. The list is endless. But I stopped watching at some point. I don't remember the exact time, but it was maybe like, I don't know. I was just obsessed with Goldberg. He was like my number one guy. He was the one that anytime he was on screen, I wanted him to win. And obviously, he won just about every single time. Like, I do remember him getting spray painted on his back, and I was just so mad by the NWO because the NWO would just constantly harass him, and there was just so much chaos there, right? I don't know if that. I think it might have been in WCW stuff, but either way, it's been 20. I'm gonna guess 25 years. I don't know the exact time I stopped watching, but WrestleMania 40 was the first time I started watching wrestling again for like. I gave it a real shot. Like everything else I've seen was like little clips here and there, and I didn't really care about it. I was like, oh, that was a funny thing, That was like 25 years I've been doing that. Like I knew about John Cena. Like I didn't know any wrestlers until WrestleMania 40 besides like John Cena, and I knew obviously people like Stone Cold and stuff, but they all retired essentially. Well, a little bit, not really, sort of. We'll talk about that maybe some other time. But like the only one I really knew that is still currently in the WWE from when I watched was Rey Mysterio. Like I didn't even know John Cena because when I stopped watching wrestling when he debuted, so I knew about him. I knew his name and I knew what he was. You can't see me, sort of thing. But like that was really it. So going into WrestleMania 40, I decided to just randomly watch it one day. And the first match I ever saw in the last 25 years was Sami Zayn versus Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, at the time, I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know who any of these wrestlers are. I didn't even know about any of the championships because I had to learn all of this over the past year and some change. And let me tell you, you would think it'd be a pain in the butt, but no, I had the greatest time of my life. Oh, let me tell you, man. Sami Zayn versus Gunther was the match that made me fall in love with wrestling again. And I don't know if it was the actual match itself, but I think it was the storyline from what I gathered going into it. Like Sami, I didn't know who any of these people were that were like he was going into the match with Gunther the first time I saw him. And it was his wife and his kid there. And his kid's like, you going to play your music, Dad? I was like, oh, you can't. That's cute, right? And then he goes forward and there's this other guy. And he gives Sami a hug. And he's like, you got this, Sami. You got this. And I was like, who the hell is this guy? Little did I know he'd become like my second favorite wrestler, Kevin Owens. So it was just kind of cool. I was like, well, this is kind of anime. Like, I kind of like this because I'm obviously a big anime guy. So we go into the ring and his music plays. I'm like, holy crap, this music's really good. It's Sami's theme is actually like the theme that is like I feel like one of the most different themes in WWE as of everything I've watched in the last couple of years, like a year or two, year or so, if I could talk. But yeah, Sammy versus Gunther was the first match I ever saw. And then I went on to watch the main event at some point with Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship. And yeah, that was something. I didn't know who anybody was besides The Undertaker. So it was really cool though, having all, and then The Rock, obviously The Rock. I keep forgetting about The Rock. Holy crap! Yeah, obviously I knew The Rock from way back then too. But like, I was like, holy crap, The Rock's here, The Undertaker's here. This is like my childhood, you know, sort of thing. And I think that launched me into everything that I've done this past year with anything to do with wrestling. Was Sami Zayn versus Gunther, and then obviously that main event with Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. So, after WrestleMania 40, I did take a bit of a break. I think I like tuned in from time to time. Like, I think I watched the Raw after WrestleMania, and I was like, okay, this is cool. I'll check it in from time to time. But then I think it was like I kind of like skimmed Backlash. I didn't really watch much of that. And then I was like, you know what? We're going to do this. We're going to just sit down. We're going to watch an episode or two. And it was like maybe a couple of months, maybe a month or two and a month and a half before SummerSlam. And there was that big storyline. This is what really got me, okay? The storyline between Dom, Liv, and the Judgment Day and Rhea and that whole stuff, right? Holy crap, that was great. And that's what made me go, oh, wait a minute. There is something here that I'm watching and I want to know what happens, you know, and that's what gets you. And at the time, Rhea wasn't back. Rhea was on injury. So, because she had to relinquish her title. And I didn't know about that because I think that happened before WrestleMania. I don't remember. Like, I don't remember that part exactly. But, yeah, she didn't have her title. So, Liv ended up getting the title. And, yeah, Liv was trying to mess up her Rhea stuff in the Judgment Day, but she ended up joining the Judgment Day, and she got Dom. She meant to like screw over Dom because it's just she wanted to take everything away from Rhea, right? She ended up actually really liking Dom, so that whole thing happened. And then SummerSlam is the show for me. SummerSlam is one of the best shows of anything I've ever seen, of anything entertainment wise. SummerSlam 2024 was so good. And especially opening SummerSlam up with Liv versus Rhea for the women's championship. Now, at the time, I was like, oh, Rhea's obviously just going to get this back, right? She's back now. Dom is back with Rhea again. All right, there may be a little bit of lingering because Rhea wasn't sure. Rhea's been kind of treating Dom a little crappy because Dom, I'm not going to get the whole thing. But I was like, obviously Rhea's going to get back. And then they twisted it. They got us good. Like, the fact that Dom betrayed Rhea and then went with Liv. And then, dude, all of SummerSlam 2024, with the Cody versus Solo and then Roman coming back. And, there was so much that happened in SummerSlam. And then Logan Paul versus LA Knight. And LA Knight winning his U.S. title, for the first time, was awesome. There was just so much. So, SummerSlam on, I was fully in. I watched every episode of Raw and SmackDown, and I've learned a lot. And I would say I'm kind of obsessed with wrestling now. So, so getting to this point, WrestleMania 41, I want to talk about that for just a little bit because WrestleMania 41 was like my first real WrestleMania that I knew everything from the past year going into it. And I got to say, I enjoyed it a lot. I mean, there was a few matches that were not very good. There was a few matches that were incredible. Some of the best stuff I've ever seen. Io versus Rhea versus Bianca was the best wrestling match I've ever seen. Hands down, the best wrestling match. I was screaming that entire match. And let me tell you, I about cried when Io won. Because Io has become like probably my favorite female wrestler, up there with Liv Morgan. Those two are my favorite females. And Io is just, she's great. I absolutely love her. So the fact that she got to retain her championship at WrestleMania in front of 60,000 people or whatever the heck it was awesome. It was amazing. And That made my WrestleMania right there. Obviously, night one's WrestleMania with the whole Roman versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman betraying both of them and then going with Seth Rollins. That whole thing is still kind of going on after WrestleMania now that they have this new faction with Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. And then Dominic Mysterio winning his first singles championship on the main roster. Oh, that was so good. Oh, I was so happy. I was just as happy for Dom as I was for Liv. Or not for Liv. I was just as happy I was for Dom as I was for EO. But here's the thing. Like Dom, I liked Dom a lot going into it. But I was like, Dom better win this. But I wasn't the biggest Dom guy. Like, I like Dom. But like, he wasn't like a top guy for me. And man, I don't know. I think everyone's feeling this way now. That Dominic is just... Dirty Dom is like one of the best. He's like one of the most entertaining guys in WWE. He's like such a good bad guy. You know, he's great. So the fact that he won his first singles championship and then John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. Oh man, that was... Because after night one's main event, you're like, this was crazy. What do they have as plan for night two? What could happen, man? You're going to get The Rock. You're going to get the Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's going to be crazy, right? And then it turned into the biggest shit show you've ever seen. Like, night one's main event was so good. And then you expect so much from night two. And it just, I don't know what the hell they were thinking. It's just, like, The Rock was supposed to, it was all set up for The Rock to be there. And they just didn't do it. They just didn't do it. And it was crazy. Travis Scott will forever be remembered as the guy who ruined WrestleMania 41's night to a main event. Like, in general, he will. That's just the way it's going to be. And it's bad that John Cena's 17th is going to be tied to that. Oh, man. We'll talk about this over the time doing YouTube. I trust me, we will talk about this later. But that was disappointing. That fatal 4-way with the Intercontinental Championship. There was just so much about WrestleMania 41 I liked. There was a few matches I didn't like. I didn't like the War Raiders versus the New Day. That was awful. It was just a waste of space. They should have had the SmackDown Tag Team division there. Instead, I don't know why they decided to do that. Because I guess apparently they dressed up like Clash of Clans and they had a Clash of Clans ad, so they had to throw that in there. I would have rather SmackDown people dress up as Clash of Clans. I don't care. Just throw them in there so they get a match, you know. And then they had the best match. One of the best is probably the best TLC match ever. The SmackDown after WrestleMania. So yeah, there was a lot of things they should have done differently about WrestleMania 41, right? There was a lot of good things, but there was also some bad things. So either way, after WrestleMania 41, we are in I would say, fresh slate. But there is still some lingering things going on, like the new faction that had to do with CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Like, they're still intertwined, and their Roman's kind of gone right now. I'm guessing until SummerSlam or whatever he's doing. CM Punk is back now. Jey Uso is champion. I forgot about that. Jey Uso. For the last year, Jey Uso has become one of my favorites. Like, obviously, he's gotten so much hate ever since he won the Royal Rumble. But I don't care. Like, he was always one of my favorites. So when he won the Royal Rumble, when it was like the most stacked Royal Rumble in history, with John Cena, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Logan Paul, you have all these big names, and then Jey Uso wins it. That just says something, I think. So he won the Royal Rumble. He went on to face Gunther for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and he beat Gunther. And then people were mad about it, the way he won. And I like the way he won. I wish the tap out would have happened a little longer. Like, he should have tapped out maybe like 10 seconds in or something like that. Not within 3 seconds. But here's the thing. Like, the more you watch that, if you watch how it happened, where he did like 3 frog splashes onto him, and he did all these things to like basically make him not be able to breathe. That's just the way they want it. And then that's why he tapped out so quick, because he did like 3 frog splashes on the guy and a bunch of other stuff. So that's why he was tapping out so quick. I think that's what they were going for. I still think he should have tapped out a little bit later, maybe like 10 seconds in or something like that. Just to say, you know, that's because everyone now, ever since WrestleMania 41, is saying, you tapped out. Like, they're chanting that to Gunther every time he's out there. And that, I feel really bad for the guy. I mean, I don't think that's how he wants his time to be remembered at WrestleMania 41. Obviously, he lost, so it's going to be a crappy time for a while until he gets his juice back. You know, going to get his Gunther juice back. Because right now he's in a weird state with, we'll talk about that in another video. But yeah, that's lots of stuff going on here. So yeah, I want to do wrestling content. That's what I'm basically getting down to here. If you watch this far in, I really want to do wrestling content, and I have just had a really good time watching, and I want to discuss it. So we're probably gonna be doing like prediction videos for upcoming PLEs, endless content. Maybe talk about some Raw and SmackDown stuff. I'm not sure if I'll do every episode ever. We will see. Depends on how I'm feeling, and depends on how much time I have outside of real life stuff. So, wrestling, man. WWE has taken over my life, and it's something I look forward to every week. So, if you follow me on Twitter, or X, what the hell it's called now, twitter.com/Dane95, x.com/Dane95. It's DEIN 95. I talk about wrestling on there all the time. Every time there's an episode, I'm tweeting about it, or I'm tweeting about it the next day when I'm able to watch it. So whether it's SmackDown being shitty or Raw being amazing, like this last Raw being really good with Seth Rollins versus Jey Uso, and how that was one of the best main events of Raw I've ever seen. And then you had SmackDown where it was just felt like filler. The entire episode felt like it was just slowly turning its wheels, and Backlash is in like 2 weeks, or it was like in a week, and they're doing that, and it just doesn't make sense. There's just so much they could do. Where the hell is Alexa Bliss? I have a lot of questions, and they're not answering them. There's so much. Jimmy Uso, why are you in backstage segments? You should be getting pushed right now, especially after Jay won the championship. Why are you in just random backstage segments with R-Truth? It just doesn't make sense. You should be out there in the Fatal 4-Way. You should make it a Fatal 5-Way. I don't fucking know what it's called. There's just so much that they could be doing on SmackDown. Carmelo Hayes, why are you down there with The Miz? You just won the Andre the Giant Battle Royale. You should be going somewhere doing something else. There's a lot of things on SmackDown they need to fix. But, yeah. And also, Fraxium should be on Monday Night Raw, not SmackDown, because Monday Night Raw needs the tag teams more than SmackDown. SmackDown already has a lot. I'm going on a tangent here. I have a lot to say, as you could tell. But we will talk about that in the future. Next video I'm going to do, you might see this after that one, but the next video I want to do is Backlash predictions for 2025. It's coming up in like 2 days as of the recording of this video. Might be a day after, I don't know when I'm going to upload it exactly. It might be tomorrow when I upload it. So it'll probably be tomorrow for Backlash. So look forward to that. We have one more episode of SmackDown before Backlash. So who knows what could happen. We've got 5 matches already. So who knows what could be announced. Probably nothing. But we're going to be getting some last minute story before Backlash. So look forward to that, and look forward to content in the future here on the channel for the WWE. So guys, thanks so much for watching. If you guys want to see more wrestling content from me, be sure to subscribe, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and we will talk again in the future. Leave your thoughts down below on the future of the WWE. Thanks guys. Talk to you later.